Today we remember and honor Jesus' Transfiguration. Today's Gospel speaks about when Jesus brought three apostles, Peter, James, and John, with him to the mountaintop, where the three of them witnessed Jesus' Transfiguration, where he turned whiter and brighter than the purest snow. They were in awe to see Moses and Elijah appear and speak with Jesus. They couldn't believe what they saw. And next, Peter told Jesus, he said, "Why don't I go ahead and set up 3 tents, one for Moses, one for Elijah, and one for you?" And Jesus said, "No, let's go back down." And as they descended the mountain, his body went back to normal. I think that story gives us 4 important things to consider today. One is Jesus' transfiguration. Why did Jesus go ahead and show the 3 apostles his transfiguration? Well, the church teachings says that Jesus knew that soon he would be crucified and that he would ascend into heaven. And to help keep them from being too caught up in their grief when that happened, he let them see him transfigured, knowing that when he rose, that it would be wonderful. And not only does Jesus transfigure, but we also, when we die and are resurrected, our bodies will be transfigured just like Jesus's. That's kind of interesting if you think about it. I've heard some people tell me that, I don't know whether it's true or not or what to believe, but people say that they've had loved ones who've passed on, and in their grief, they've had dreams where their loved one, whether it be a parent or a spouse, appeared to them in their dreams smiling. And the person often says that their loved one was so beautiful and young and very different than how they appeared here on earth. Are they seeing their loved one's transfiguration? Well, the other thing that makes us think about is that the gospel says that Moses and Elijah talked with Jesus. However, they lived way, way before Jesus' time. And that again reminds me of our Catholic beliefs of the communion of saints. And we have loved ones who have died and are in heaven with Jesus right now. Not only our loved ones, but all people who have gone before us are in heaven with Jesus, and they are saints. And they continue to pray for each and every one of us. And we can continue to ask them to pray for us. That is what the communion of saints is. That death does not separate us. Even though we may not see them for a while, it doesn't mean that we are separated from them. They are in heaven and they continue to pray for us. And as Catholics, we believe that in asking the saints to pray for us. And that includes our parents, our relatives, whoever has died, and we believe them to be in heaven, then they are a saint. And we can ask them to pray for us and to help us. The third thing is that Peter said to Jesus that he would set up 3 tents, one for Jesus, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Why do you think he did that? Obviously, it's because when he saw Jesus transfigured and how beautiful he was, which was a glimpse of heaven, Peter didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay there and experience that. But then Jesus changed and went back to normal, and he said, "Let's go down, go back to the world." So that reminds us that we may always want to be happy and to have that never stop and to be joyous, but that can't always be the case. We have to go back to reality and face our challenges, and that God can't permit us to be happy all the time. And I think he does that maybe so that when we face those challenges, we have more faith and more hope that later on we will be in heaven experiencing everlasting life with Him. And that our time here on earth is so limited that we can't focus on that, that we need to have a goal to live well and to be happy so that we can be eternally happy in heaven with God and with Jesus. The fourth thing is that Jesus told the disciples to not speak of this until after He was crucified and had risen. And I think maybe Jesus did this because He knew that if they went off and told people, that people wouldn't be ready to understand until after Jesus was crucified and had risen from the dead, and then more people would be willing to accept it and understand it. And that's like us. Many times we want to tell somebody something, and we do, and it kind of goes right over their head. And it's obvious we have to wait for the right time. When they're ready, then they'll understand it. So today's gospel really isn't a long story, but I think it gives us a lot of things to contemplate. Thank you, and God bless you.